Hi there, everybody. My name is Justin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, if you have been watching this YouTube channel and following along for a while, you may have noticed that the name of the YouTube channel has changed, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Moving into the channel being called Strength, Yoga, and Freedom Adventures by Justin. There's a reason behind all that, and I'm going to explain why. So let's kind of talk about that right now in this video. So if you have been following along with me through the year 2024, there have been several challenges in my personal life that I have shared in my podcast and on this YouTube channel. One being the loss of my 19-year-old cat, Cody, who passed away in January. That was a big loss. And then just a few months later in May, very early May, very unexpectedly, my year-and-a-half-old cat, Dylan, passed away unexpectedly, as I said. And so there were two big losses at the beginning of the year for me, two family members who lived with me, for quite some time here at home, who are now gone. And so that was a huge shakeup in my personal life, going from, having, two fur babies and myself here to having one fur baby and myself to having none. A huge change for me. So not only did that happen at the beginning of 2024, but in the very beginning of spring, into the beginning of, actually in the later part of spring, beginning of summer, I woke up one morning with a horrible shooting pain down my right leg, which developed into pain that was so unbearable that I could barely even move or walk for about a week. And then it required, medical intervention and medications and doing yoga and all the good stuff to relieve the sciatica that was going from some low back issues, some disc issues in my low back, some stenosis issues in my low back. And so I truly believe that if I had not been doing yoga for about the last 6 years or so, it probably would have been much worse. But I'm here now to say that while I am pretty recovered from the sciatica, I still have some issues going on that I'm working through with that low back and still moving through all of that. It has been quite the year. There were plans to move at the end of this year. That has come to a stop because, as I talk often on this channel or the podcast that you might be listening to, it is very important to stay within your purpose. And I know that when you are doing things that are on the outside of your purpose, or you're doing things that don't always feel right, it can lead to a lot of turmoil. And so while I was going through the things that I was going through, the grieving, right? 4, 5, 6 months of grieving, 7 months of grieving, still grieving today, and also being physically limited, right? Being halted, not able to do anything that I would normally be able to do. Including sleep, including eat, because there was so much pain, including exercise, including move around, right? It caused a stop. And when those things happen, I really believe that it is time for you to take an exam of kind of like what's going on in our life, because those things that happen to us, like death, like physical challenges or unexpected ailments or things that just knock you really on your ass and force you to stop, those happen all the time and they're not in your control. There's a lot of things in our control, a lot in our lives, but there's a lot that's also not. And the things that have happened, those primary things that I just talked to you about, which have happened this year, have forced a permanent stop. And when you get into these permanent stops, I really think it's time to reflect. And for me, the reflection that came out of all of this has been, what is my purpose now, right? I've come to this complete stop. There was the plan of moving, with me and Dylan down to more towards southern Ohio. There was plans of moving some things into a different direction in this channel and on my podcast and with my social media and other work that I do. There was lots of different plans, and all of that got uprooted. And that to me is a time where you need to stop, where I need to stop, not you. I mean, I feel like where I need to stop and where I feel like a lot of us could stop and do a quick reflection on, hey, what in the world am I really looking for now? I thought I knew. I thought I had some plans, a plan of action. I thought I might have had, these ambitions and dreams, and something got switched and something got halted. And I figured out that the most important thing for me was to focus on myself, healing emotionally, healing physically, and figuring out, without this family I had before, where do I go now? What do I do now? What makes sense to go forward in now? And when about, I don't know, a month and a half ago, I called my good friend Tavi Rose, who a lot of you know from this YouTube channel or the podcast. And you know that she has been on several times and has talked a lot about some of the things that we talk about on this channel and podcast, which are, things that will help you gain a better understanding of your own life and your own purpose and your own moving forward and the things that you want and the dreams and the goals that you want in your life and all of those good things. And we had a phone conversation, and she had some things going on in her life that she shared with me. And I said, and as soon as we started talking, we both came to this conclusion that there was something we needed to do together. And from there, here we are now. So the direction of this channel is changing from not just me doing the motivational and inspirational episodes of the podcast that you might be used to now moving more towards, what am I doing in my life adventurous? So the name of this channel is moving from Strength, Yoga, and Freedom to Strength, Yoga, and Freedom Adventures by Justin. That's me. So how does Tavi Rose fit into this? I'll tell you in a second. But first of all, the channel itself is going to be focused on the things that I love the most, the things that I have rediscovered about myself through this process of loss, through this process of pain that I have been going through the first half of this year, and maybe more than half of this year. I have rediscovered my love for theme parks, and I have been able to go to more theme parks this summer than I have ever been able to go to, because I needed to rediscover that little bit of igniting in the fire that theme parks provide me, which I've talked about numerous times before on this channel and on this podcast. I have also rediscovered my love for cruising. And as most of you know, I have been on cruises before and will be continuing to go on cruises. And this has reignited that passion and has allowed me to nail down some big cruises coming up in the future for myself. I have also rediscovered my love for the game show. I've not talked about this much, if at all, but I have always been a fan of the game show and especially of classic game shows. And I really have been diving more into that as well. And also I have rediscovered myself through my practice of yoga and my teaching of yoga this entire year. And not only have I been rediscovering myself there, but I've also been building a new family with 2 new cats who are 2 years old, both of them. And they've come into this house with pretty rough backgrounds. I've always adopted kittens in the past, so they don't know much other than me. But these 2 cats knew a lot. And what I'm discovering now, what adventure is happening now, is discovering them as they discover me, as we learn together to cohesively, kind of melt into this family unit that I had before with my cats before, but in a different way with new cats. As most of you who are pet owners know, every pet is different and you love them differently, but there's always a different kind of facet to each pet. And I'm really enjoying seeing how these cats evolve from a life of chaos that they've had in the past to a life of peace and love here in a house that is way more conducive to their, being peaceful and happy and living their best lives full of love. And that's what they deserve. And that's what I deserve as well. We deserve all of that. All of us deserve to live our lives full of peace and of love. And so this channel is going to morph into the adventures. Now, originally I had wanted to combine everything into one channel, the motivation, the inspiration, the adventures, and all of that. However, when I was talking with Tavi and we discussed some of the things we were looking forward to doing in the future, we decided that it was going to be the best thing to do to join forces and start our own YouTube channel. Now, this YouTube channel is going to be continuing with adventures and with podcasts and with stories and with things that you're going to be seeing me doing all the time, whether it's just day-to-day adventures or whether it's my travels or whether it's the yoga. That's all going to be included here. And it is already reaching a different audience, which is part of the goal. But Tavi and I are now launching our own YouTube channel called Dragonfly Studios by 330 Reiki. And Tavi and I are both certified yoga teachers, but Tavi also has a lot of experience and certification in being a Reiki master. And she is going to bring a new form of teaching and coaching and inspiration that I cannot bring myself, and I will be bringing a new form of coaching and teaching that she cannot deliver herself. But together, we are going to be a powerhouse. And not only are we looking for our venture together to be inspiration based like this, but it is also going to formulate itself and evolve itself into trainings that you'll be able to take online. It's going to evolve itself into coachings, live sessions, things that you can go on and become a part of. It's going to be a community of people who are looking just to be themselves, who want to find a place, who want to feel like they belong, who feel like maybe they have lost themselves somewhere, much like Tavi and I have had in our own past. And so we're bringing all this to you in a brand new channel, which I am going to link the description of that channel in the notes of this video so that you can click on it and go over there and subscribe to that channel to see our very first video where we talk about the intention of our channel and of what we want to bring to you. And then we are going to start bringing you some kick-ass content where we just have conversations like we've had on this channel and podcast, talking all about the things that really fuel us, that really ignite our fire, and that really inspire and motivate us to do good in the world. And that's all we're looking to do. And so I am making this video now to talk to you about the transition. So if you are not a fan of theme parks and cruises and travel and other things and adventure, and you're more of the inspirational type, no one's offended. But if you are a fan of continuing to watch what's going on with me and how I continue to move through the world and evolve in the adventures that I want to have in the life that I am building for myself, one step at a time, one day at a time, through strength, through freedom, through yoga, then stay with me because there's so much great stuff coming up. And by the way, if you are someone who likes to get tips on theme park trips or cruises, or you like the history of television or game shows, or you are someone who looks to, maybe want a little motivation, we've got you covered in all aspects, whether it's here or on the channel with Tavi and I, 330 by 330 Reiki, Dragonfly Studios by 330 Reiki. It's going to be amazing. And there's so much more that's going to be coming out of all of that as well. This is just the beginning. So if you're subscribed to my blog that comes out, if you're not subscribed, I highly suggest you do. But if you are subscribed, I highly suggest you read the ones that are coming out because they're going to be full of great information still and of me just talking to you personally and stuff I don't say on here. And I love sharing that stuff with you. I love sharing what adventures I'm having with you. And I love to do that for one reason only. It is purposeful, mindful, and an absolute push towards the life that I want to live and hopes to inspire you to push towards the life you want to live. Now, if I, a person who came from nothing, who came from a very unloving childhood to an unloving adolescence and young adulthood, to making tons of mistakes, to having all kinds of issues, to being careless with money, careless with other people, careless with relationships, careless with my own physical health, careless with my emotional health, to getting myself on the right track to building this life that I deserve and want. If that's something that you want for yourself too, follow along with me, because my goal is to inspire you to do the same in whatever that means for you and whatever passion that is for you. And with this channel and with the new one that's coming out that you can now watch, I think it's going to be amazing. And so I cannot wait to share with you here more adventures, more fun, more excitement. And on Dragonfly Studios by 330 Reiki, get ready for some crazy motivation, crazy eye-opening, thought-provoking conversations. You're not going to want to miss it. So find what fits you best and start driving yourself in the lane of purpose, because you deserve that. I'll see you all on the next adventure, everybody.